Hello, everyone. Welcome to Office Hours, our weekly get together where we talk about all things Butterflies AI. This week we have a couple of interesting ish, I suppose, updates. Um, we finally resolved the issue of private butterflies not responding to comments in their own posts, as well as um, private safe for work butterflies should be commenting on their own posts as well. So that means when you create a private butterfly, you'll finally see some commenting activity from them. Other than that, we definitely have noted a few more bugs. The issue of less variation when you're generating a direct message has definitely gotten worse over the past week or so. It took me almost 20 rerolls one time to get new context inside of a chat. So yeah, that's definitely not good. Um, let's see. There was also an issue on Monday that had some butterflies spamming their creators with post or pass notifications. That issue has been temporarily patched by pausing post or pass notifications. So for the time being, you will not receive any notifications when new posts are ready for your butterflies. If you're the type that relies on those notifications, I do apologize. Um, However, some users were getting spammed upwards of 10 times per post repeatedly during Monday, so the developers have temporarily paused those notifications as we diagnose the problem and work towards a fix. Um, there's also been an uptick in butterflies that are on the semi-realistic model and also sometimes the drawing model producing realistic images from the poster pass flow. Um, we have not been able to uncover the reason as to why exactly that is going on. We are still investigating that as best as we possibly can. Um, it was noted that the memories issues where weird rejection messages like I cannot create content involving two adults in a relationship or things like that on the mature filter had been happening. The developers noted that as resolved. However, I've seen some reports that it's still ongoing. So definitely keep an eye out for that and let us know. Um, Other than that, it's pretty much been background bug fixes as well as some updates to make things a little bit easier for moderation. No, we have not heard anything about whether or not Boba is going to be introduced as an additional model. I still have no updates on the release of the 1.5 model, and after that is when I was going to start asking the developers about that ability. So other than that, I guess the floor is open to questions. This might end up being one of the shortest office hours since not a whole lot has really happened in the past week other than testing things out and trying to resolve some of the background bugs. I mean, it's not like, we've had this discussion every week for the past, what, 2-ish months, Kingslayer? And I don't mind that, by the way. I really don't. It's great to see that there is so much interest in Boba's model and how they're doing things there. I see Roscoe is typing. All right. Oh, if we upload a profile picture for our butterflies. So, Roscoe, the ability to upload profile pictures for your butterflies was actually removed. I believe it was removed. Let's see. It must have been removed like I'd say a month ago now. Hmm. Yeah, I know it was removed because we had issues with people uploading not safe for work profile pictures for their butterflies, even though that is against the content guidelines. As well as there are still a whole bunch of older butterflies that have NSFW profile pictures. Those NSFW profile pictures are blurred, but yeah, you shouldn't be able to upload any profile pictures, and those that do have NSFW profile pictures will be moderated properly according to our content guidelines. That includes, if needed, removing the butterfly from the website. Um, are you saying that you're able to upload profile pictures, Roscoe? Okay. Because as far as I'm aware, there are two ways to upload profile pictures. Last I knew, the Android app still allowed members to upload profile pictures, as we have no way to update the Android app, as well as the iOS app still allowed some users to upload profile pictures. That again is due to the iOS app not being updated in a while. Um, from what I understand, the iOS app's development is temporarily slowed down or paused. It's just due to the availability of the developers at the moment. There really isn't like an iOS specialist or anything like that anymore for the developers to rely on. So now the developer's time is spent between fixing things for the website, getting moderation sorted out, and getting things in Boba sorted out a lot. And that has left very little time for iOS to be really messed with or developed further. They are working on resolving the issue of Apple sign in not working on the website or on the iOS app. That I know is something that they have actually been working on quite a bit in the background. Um, and it's just a little bit more complicated than it originally seemed. So that is still taking a little while. Um, Honestly, I don't know why I haven't mentioned that in the currently known bugs. Oof, I should probably update that, huh? Um, but yeah, the current guidelines, which can be found at Butterflies AI. Give me a second. /content_guidelines. Which was updated in January of 2025, states that we don't allow NSFW profile pictures. Here is a link to the content guidelines. So This is also where the language for depictions of real individuals, or fictional characters portrayed by real actors is described. Um, so as it currently stands with these rules, right? There is this note of such portrayals will be labeled as parodies in future updates. In the back end, we are starting to moderate um, celebrity profiles based on whether or not the profiles follow a parody structure, because we've noticed that a lot of members create relatively safe deepfakes and then they keep them safe for a while and suddenly they go NSFW, right? And since we don't look into direct messages as well, we have a feeling that those that do suddenly go NSFW are being used in direct messages for NSFW purposes, right? And using a celebrity's image for NSFW purposes is against our content guidelines. So that's why some bots get moderated as against the content guidelines, depending on whether or not they follow a parody structure, right? Give me 1 second again, please. Let's see. So, just to be clear, we are defining a parody as a creative transformation of a recognizable figure, concept, or archetype that adds new meaning, context, or commentary. Right? So, what this means for those of you who create celebrity clones is it is no longer acceptable to create a direct copy of a celebrity. So, for example, if you're creating a bunch of singers, right? There has to be enough of a transformative context or a new meaning or some other form of commentary on them that they are distinguishably different from the actual celebrity. One of the things that we've noticed a lot is people creating, stuff like Celine Dion official, and it's literally just, the entire history of Celine Dion, and it's trying to act exactly like Celine Dion. That is not a parody. There is no transformative context, there is no new meaning or commentary. So, unfortunately, that is against the content guidelines. Or when we update them, it will be clearly stated against the content guidelines. Yeah. No, I hear you there. I do hear you there. Okay. Um, I've noticed that the system usually adds official to like direct recreations. In fact, I actually have a bot that would be against the new content guidelines now that I think of it too. My Jack Black recreation. So, yeah. Um, Yeah, you're not wrong where the system does sometimes add official. Or if you're creating a whole cloth fictional celebrity, right? It'll sometimes add official to it. Um, the The hard part really comes in, right, with the legality of things, right? Because if we allow, anybody to create the direct copy of a celebrity, we're basically opening up Butterflies as the platform to create deep fakes on, which is not the intent. And Roscoe, while as long as it is transformative, right? As long as it is adding new meaning, context, or commentary to the celebrity, then it is considered a parody. Literally, that is the legal definition of parody within the United States and applicable law as far as we can tell, right? So, if I recall correctly, what you're doing is you're running a parody, record company, right? What I would recommend to make your Butterflies more in line is you can totally have them be singers inside of this record company, but add some transformative context or commentary, right? So, for example, Rick Astley, right? Have some sort of transformative context to or commentary to him, I don't know, have him be, an advocate for Taco Bell. As long as it's something that is completely out of line with what the actual celebrity would be doing, right? Then it is more of a creative transformation and it's more allowed under parody context. Right. And I think there's been a couple of your recent Butterflies that I have had to moderate as against the guidelines because they were just too much of a direct copy. I meant to reach out to you about them and try to explain, what we're trying to accomplish with the parody guidelines and all that. But unfortunately, I've been really busy, and I'm really sorry about that. I also do want to note that while we're doing it, as a legal protection for ourselves, this is also a way to legally protect yourself, right? Because AI is so new, there's not a whole lot of laws surrounding it, right? So once proper laws are established about what is okay, quote unquote, to create with generative AI, then that's when things will definitely have to be 100% updated. But as we are currently standing, we're trying to be as permissible as possible while also protecting our users and ourselves, right? So, as it stands right now, generative AI is allowed in a lot of different things. There hasn't been any rulings on whether or not, something like ChatGPT that was trained with a whole bunch of now proven to be stolen data is legal, right? But if there's ever a ruling that states that wasn't legally made and can no longer be used, then things would have to obviously change. Same thing goes for any recreations of known characters or celebrities, right? If a law comes out that protects a trademark or a copyright holder from generative AI in addition to the usual, copyright protections, then we would definitely have to update our guidelines in order to comply with that. Things of that nature, right? So some of these guidelines changes are being made in anticipation of some of those laws coming into effect, like the parody example, right? There's been some discussion lately about copyright holders being protected from generative AI artworks unless it is used in a transformative means. So that's where that entire parody language comes in. And that would also mean that my Bart and Homer Simpson bots would probably need to be updated and changed. Yeah. That's honestly, that's what got me starting to talk about that line with the developers, is watching all of these lawsuits pop up and trying to figure out how we can protect our users as well as ourselves. So, yeah, it's oof. Um, so as it stands right now, um, you can still create a like copy, quote unquote, of a celebrity as long as it is transformative and not sexualized in nature. Um, I am working with the developers on updating the content guidelines as soon as we possibly can. Um, yeah, things on that front have kind of been a bit slow, not gonna lie, because as I said, we've been working on some things in the background to make the website more optimized and moderation more optimized as well. Um, right. So the collaboration feature it's weird, okay? When it was first introduced, we saw some wonderful examples of, how it could be used. However, when we got it, it looked like a Temu ripoff of those examples that we originally saw. I'm not gonna lie. Um, and I don't know what's currently happening with the development of that feature. I don't know if that feature is just not being touched for the moment because it's, difficult to like difficult to edit, or if it's not being touched at the moment because other things are taking higher priorities, or what. But it is noted in the reports that there are several inconsistencies with the collaboration images. This is extremely noticeable on the drawing model, by the way. When you have two drawing model characters that appear together, especially if they're from a fantasy setting or a sci-fi setting, they suddenly look like they're just in modern day and they lost all of their fantasy traits. So yeah, there's definitely some issues with that collaboration feature. As for semi-realistic, there's been a lot of reports of inconsistent limbs on semi-realistic in particular. And I've seen a lot of semi-realistic posts just have floating hands and things like that. So I believe that it is time to start tweaking that one a bit. Semi-realistic used to be actually really interesting and cool, in my opinion. It used to do some really fantastic things. The original Vanbot is actually on semi-realistic, and that's what I used to create my profile pictures and all that fun stuff. Speaking of Vanbot, oh my god, I haven't posted on him in forever. Jeez. yeah. Um, some images work out just fine. Yet others, for whatever reason, tend to have some floating limbs or like the copies of faces has been a long known bug. So, for example, here's one from Vambot. Yeah. We've known for a while that getting two different faces in a post is a bit difficult due to the way that posts are created. Like the appearance of it is, they're taking that facial description and applying it to all of the faces for whatever reason. And that's a bit harder to sort out than you would initially think. Okay, you know what? I think I just found a new profile picture. That one's actually really cool. I would love the ability to take a post and turn it into a profile picture. I think that would be great for butterflies, right? It would replace the being able to upload. Oh my goodness. Those legs, though. I've seen count one minifig with long legs. And it's from a Bionicle set, of all things. So, yeah, it's weird. Oh yeah, Bionicle is an absolute classic. It's just too bad the community realized that you can create some really inappropriate things with all of those pieces. That's honestly the real reason that they changed Bionicle and eventually stopped it, is because people were not creating proper things, and Lego is a family-friendly first company. Alright. Anybody else have any questions about butterflies or what's currently going on? So, yeah, I do not recommend anybody download an XAPK of butterflies. XAPKs are all modified, okay? That X stands for, like, the ability to download additional files to your device. It's used for large APKs, like Call of Duty Mobile or Fortnite Mobile, right? Where additional downloads in the background are required to keep the app functional. Downloading an XAPK of butterflies will put your device at risk, no matter whether or not you trust the source, just because of that additional functionality. So please, for your own safety, avoid XAPKs of butterflies and uninstall them. Okay? We do offer a progressive web app for anybody who is using the mobile website. All you have to do to use that is open the mobile website m.butterflies.ai from your mobile browser. And if your mobile browser allows progressive web app installation, which most Chromium-based browsers do, so that would be Brave, Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge. I believe Firefox has now even started to offer progressive web apps. You can install the website as a progressive web app from your mobile web browser. This will place an icon like you're used to right on your home screen, and it'll work just like an app, only it's opening a singular instance of your web browser directly to the website. If that makes any sense. So yeah, please, for your own safety, for your own device's safety, and so you do not download any sort of virus, avoid any Butterflies XAPK that you find online. Those can download additional files to your device without your consent or knowledge and do some various nasty things with your data. There is absolutely no reason that Butterflies would be an XAPK. It is a very small app, maybe less than 100 megabytes in total. So there is no reason to download additional data, software, or anything to your device that an XAPK will require. Is there any particular reason that you're trying to stick to unofficial downloads of the Android APK instead of using the mobile website or the progressive web app? Also, I apologize about any noise in the background. I mean, okay, notifications are fair. To my understanding, the progressive web app still does have notifications. You just simply have to upload, like, the notification. Or not upload, allow the notifications from the website. Yeah, so because that backdoor of uploading profile pictures from the iOS and Android apps still exists, it is noted as a bug to be resolved. That ability will be removed in the future, if not the near future. The ability to create clones is still available on the mobile web app because your browser can have access to your camera. The mobile web app works exactly the same as the old Android APK, down to it being a full screen version of the app, and when you create a new Butterfly, it allows you to create a clone, right? Or maybe not. Huh. I'm currently looking at and working through the... Yeah, no, it does not allow you to create a clone. Interesting. Okay. It shouldn't be that hard. It should just be a pop-up. Like, if permissions are set properly for the website, then it should just be a pop-up showing, hey, we want to use your camera. Will you allow it this time? This time? Like, that's just a typical Android thing, right? So yeah, it's weird. I will definitely mention this to the developers, though, that the ability to create clones is missing from mobile web, because that did not used to be the case. I haven't tried to create a clone in a while, though, so I don't know when that ability disappeared. Huh. Okay, that's interesting to hear. Yeah, that makes perfect sense, right? So, like, the website has the ability to see that your device has a camera and has the ability to request access to it to upload an image or I think, video clip as well. I'm not 100% sure if we allow video. I don't think we do. I don't even think we allow GIFs anymore for user posts. Yeah. But yeah, so, like, that permission flow could also be used to create clones through the mobile app, or not the mobile app, the mobile website. Okay, good to know that they still allow GIFs. I haven't tried to upload a GIF in 2 months, and last I heard there were some issues surrounding them. So, yeah. I will definitely note down that mobile web has no clone creation feature, though. Is there anything else that anybody would like to talk about? Alright. If there's nothing else that anybody would like to talk about, then that would be a wrap on office hours. Alrighty then. Thank you all for coming. Just as a quick wrap-up, the bugs that we resolved recently are issues with private butterflies not being able to resolve or respond to comments or comment on their own posts. Posts that were previously private or deleted that show up in the For You feed are no longer showing up, as well as the old mature roleplay chat model has been discontinued by the service provider, so we have been updating that and are still actively looking for feedback about that. We currently do also know that overall image generation has some slowdowns during high usage times in the evenings on the website and in the app. Mentioning NSFW butterflies doesn't always result in a response from the butterfly. Memories still sometimes have some weird rejection messages, though that has been marked as resolved by the developers. After it was marked as resolved, I've seen 1 or 2 of those rejection messages from users. I have not experienced them myself. Butterflies on the drawing and semi-realistic models are sometimes producing realistic images from the poster pass flow, as well as butterflies on the semi-realistic model have some issues with floating or incoherent limbs. Regenerating direct messages does not provide a variation in the response, or enough of a variation for it to actually be worthwhile. And some butterflies have spammed their creators with poster pass notifications on Monday. As a result, poster pass notifications have been paused while the developers work towards a fix. With all that being said, I think that's about it for office hours today. Thank you all for coming. I hope everybody has a good evening or day or night or whatever time it is there, and I will see you guys next week.